Hey guys, it's time for a new tier list with Hoopa released. I actually haven't done one in a while. I didn't even do one for the Aegislash release, so now it's great timing to actually update my tier list. And as always, I will split my tier list into a lane tier list and a jungle tier list. Also would appreciate it, guys, if you like the video, subscribe to my channel and leave a comment. Alright, just straight start with the lane tier list. First Pokemon Absol. Honestly, I mean, you guys know how much I love lane Absol. I think it's quite strong. Probably not S tier, but I think it's one of the best solo queue carries. So I will probably always put characters that are like better pre-made or worse in solo queue, like somewhere in the middle where I think, you know, it's a fair place. So I'm going to put lane Absol in A tier for now. Blastoise, A tier, still very strong defender. And can be very game deciding. Blissey, I think Blissey is just very, very strong in the slow smoke meta. Easily A tier character as well. Just there's like two better supports right now where I think that Blissey is a bit smaller. But, you know, Blissey being a counter to slow smoke is quite strong. Then we have Charizard. Charizard is a terrible laner, goes down in C tier. I think he's still better than certain other laners, just because he has a bit of a punch early game. He can actually do quite a lot of damage, but yeah, quite bad. Cinderace, terrible lane character, should be forgotten. Cramorant is a good laner, but like he's just such a weak character right now that like I would like to put him somewhere here, but he just doesn't do anything as long as the game goes. He's just very, very weak. Crustle, I think Crustle is still a solid B tier. Nothing too amazing, he's just a worse Greedent, but I don't think he's absolutely terrible. Eldegoss easily S tier, this character is still absolutely nuts. Even with Hoopa being released, you know, this character just does a lot of things in lane, a lot of things early, mid game, late game, yeah. Garchomp, I'm gonna put Garchomp to this tier as well. I don't think he is absolutely terrible, but he's nothing really, I'm like, wow, I am happy I have a Garchomp with my team. Gardevoir, no, Gardevoir, I've been playing so much Future Sight playing Gardevoir that I actually think it's quite good. I'm just gonna put it in B tier for now. You know, the more I play it, maybe at some point I will raise it even higher. But I honestly think lane Gardevoir has a place and can be played. It just needs a good lane partner. So the problem is that if you have a bad lane partner, you're going to have a struggle getting level 5. But as soon as you get level 5, your character is actually quite strong. Problem also with Gardevoir is you're prone to getting camped. So if the enemy jungler likes your lane, you're going to have a hard time. Gengar, absolutely terrible lane character. Would not recommend. Greedent is somewhere here. Honestly, Greedent has been so popular again. But I'm honestly not sure where to put him. Maybe A tier is fair. Or S tier actually. Yeah, Greedent is just so painful to play against. And has been seeing a lot of pro play as well. But I think A tier is probably a bit more reasonable place for him to be. Greninja as well, terrible lane character. But I think he's still a better lane character than Cinderace is and Gengar. But yeah, still just, he shouldn't be played in lane. Doesn't do much. Greninja just doesn't do much if he's behind, right? He needs to be the same level or higher for his serve to deal great damage or Water Shuriken. Otherwise, he just dies very fast and do a lot of damage. Lucario is still one of the strongest laners in the game. Absolutely crazy. Machamp, I'm going to promote to S tier in this patch. Yeah, I think Machamp is very strong right now. One of the strongest laners if you want to carry games. One of the, like, let's say Lucario 2.0 or like Lucario 2. If you don't want to play Lucario, Machamp is great. And yeah, I think he's quite good. Mamoswine, I think Mamoswine is still solid B tier. I don't think he's absolutely terrible. I don't think he is too good either, though. He has strong early game, just falls off very hard. Mr. Mime, actually going to put Mr. Mime a tier down this patch, just because slow smokes are very hard to deal with for Mr. Mime, and he actually gets kind of ran over. But I think still think he's very strong, and especially very, like, you know, if you know how to play him, he can absolutely dominate lanes. But I think slow smoke has hurt him quite a lot. Also a lot of unstoppable effects in the game currently, and it's quite rough for Mr. Mime in certain games. Ninetales also still solid A tier, I would say. Again, also a character that gets kind of destroyed by slow smoke, but still can absolutely bully lanes and can do a lot. But yeah, Ninetales also slowly always falling off. I would probably put Ninetales somewhere between here right now. And yeah, but I still think it's, you know, it's a very strong laner. If you want to have a strong laner, it's pretty good. Slowbro, promoting him to A tier. Currently one of the S tier competitive characters, but you know, if I look at the game overall, I think he's a solid A tier character, has a very strong Unite move, has decent laning phase. Overall, pretty solid, one of the better defenders right now together with Blastoise. For sure, if you play defender, something you can pick. Pikachu is still easily S tier laner. Character just does a lot of damage, very safe, a lot of lane pressure. His Unite move having no cooldown makes him very strong. Snorlax, I'm actually not sure where to put Snorlax right now. I think he has dropped off a lot in terms of power. Like, I never really feel like Snorlax does much in current games. I'm not sure what the reason for that is, but yeah. Maybe it's slow smoke as well. That makes it hard for him to, like, you know, get to targets and stick to them. I'm actually gonna drop Snorlax one tier down. And I think, yeah. I mean, Slowbro kind of took his place a bit. And I just don't think he does much right now. Sylveon, I think Sylveon is also still a very strong laner. Easily at least A tier with Hyper Voice. If you play Mystical Fire, it goes down here. Okay, so don't play Mystical Fire Sylveon. I try to breach this every single day. Hyper Voice Sylveon, Mystical Fire Sylveon. Hyper Voice, Mystical Voice, okay? Hyper Voice, Mystical Fire, guys. Get this into your heads, okay? Alright, Hyper Voice Sylveon up here. Mystical Fire Sylveon, down here. Alright, guys. Hyper Voice Sylveon up here. Talonflame. Talonflame is like one of those laners that can work and is not too bad. I think just because Talonflame is a very strong character in solo queue, I think I'm gonna go actually put him in B tier. He's also played in competitive right now in lane sometimes, so I don't think, I mean, it's quite fine. Like, he's just a very strong character that can do a lot. Even he doesn't have to necessarily need a level lead. He can just be annoying just as soon as he gets level 7. Venusaur, I would still say S tier character. Venusaur is just Venusaur. Especially with Hoopa now, there's also certain ways you can be very effective on Venusaur. Of course, I wouldn't recommend going Trick, but if you play Trick with the Venusaur, it can be quite deadly on Hoopa. But yeah, Venusaur still easily S tier character. Wigglytuff still easily S tier character in my opinion as well. Absolutely annoying to play against. One of the best unites in the game. Yeah. Zaora goes down in C tier. I really feel like Zaora really doesn't do much right now. I mean, White Charge and Spark is annoying. I don't think it wins games necessarily though. It sucks dying against it. And yeah, but I don't think it does much besides that. So I'm gonna put down in C tier. Decidueye goes into the Decidueye tier. Serena, oh my god, Serena as well. Serena I think is dropping down quite a lot down. I'm gonna put her into C tier as well. Doesn't do anything. Doesn't do actually anything in the games. I see a Serena being played in lane. Always dies, never does any damage. Looks terrible. Dragonite as well, Dragonite in lane. Just, I don't think it just doesn't work. Those are like, they have to be played in jungle. They need the levels very badly, but even in jungle there's just so many better characters. But yeah, for lane, I think Dragonite lane is absolutely terrible. It needs level 8, which is very hard to get. Dragon Dance on level 5 is decent for lane, but it honestly doesn't really do much, I would say. Trevenant, I think Trevenant is actually much better than these characters, not gonna lie. And I don't think he's underrated, but I still think he's... Okay, maybe this is a bit unfair. Trevenant's also down here. Yeah, no, I was getting a bit too high on myself. Let's just put Trevenant down here. I don't think he's too bad. I actually quite like him, but yeah. Aegislash. I think Aegislash has this very strong laning phase. I'm still not amazed by this character. I would put him somewhere into lower B tier. And I still think I would rather have an Aegislash than these characters in lane in my team. But I'm still not impressed with him. I still have to figure out this character fully. And I just can't really see his value necessarily much. So he would also be somewhere lower B tier, higher C tier, but let's put him in B tier for now. And then Hoopa. Hoopa's absolutely broken. This character is insane. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else. You guys already saw my videos, right? Talking about Hoopa, seeing me play Hoopa. And this character is insane in competitive, and even insane in solo queue as well. Insane in duo, triple queues. Yeah, this character does a lot, and his Unite move is probably the best in the game right now, I would say, or close to the best. You know, I consider Hoopa, Wigglytuff, and Blastoise having the best Unite moves with Slowbro and Charizard, and I think Hoopa is easily top 3, top 2 Unite moves right now. It feels very hard to play against the Hoopa if you don't have one when it comes to team fighting. So yeah, being able to port your entire team around, and then just also does a lot of damage, right? The Hoopa Unleashed does a lot of damage. And yeah, that's it for the lane tier list. For the jungle tier list, I actually added an AS plus section. You will see why. Because I think there's 2 junglers who are absolutely the best. And yeah, they're just absolutely the best. And the other ones are lagging a bit behind. But they're still very strong. They're still S tier characters. And absolutely hard to deal with. So we start again with Absol. I think Absol is a solid 8 here as well in jungle. I wouldn't put it higher. There's just better junglers out there. Absol doesn't really scale well into late game. And you do want a jungler that scales well into late game or strong in team fights. And yeah, Absol can stop our games very hard, but has a hard time as a jungler finishing out those games still, because if you're the highest experience, then you don't really have a carry. Blastoise, we show in jungle. I'm just gonna have another jungler section again. Maybe that's unnecessary, but just so you guys don't, jungle with those characters. Charizard, S tier. I would say currently a top 3 jungler after the 2 most OP one. Yeah, very solid, does a lot, very strong Unite move, has strong early mid game, has very strong submission potential. And Charizard is very strong. And now there's the first S plus character, Cinderace. Cinderace is so absolutely broken. I really hope this character gets a nerf. Blaze Kick is not fair. Her damage output is not fair. Nothing about this character feels very fair right now. It just completely runs over games if left alone freely. And it's very hard to deal with. Cramorant, not a jungler. I'm just going to fill this in. Garchomp. I mean, there's certain characters like the jungler with Garchomp, but I just would not recommend it. But he is, in theory, maybe a fine jungler, but I would not recommend playing it. I think it's quite bad. Gardevoir, I think Gardevoir is currently easily an S-tier jungler, very strong. Future Sight has early power spikes, does crazy damage with it. And I can only recommend playing it if you want to play more mage-style jungler, then Gardevoir is your pick. Gengar, B-tier, yeah, lowest tier in jungle. He is a jungler, and he has to be played in jungle because his laning is bad, but compared to the other things, he's also lagging a bit behind. Greedent is not a jungler, I mean, he's a counter jungler, right? Greninja, S+ as well, he's the second character that is just absolutely broken. Doesn't matter if you play Smokescreen or Surf, or Double Team or Water Shuriken. This character also doesn't feel really fair to play against, can snowball games crazy, has insane damage output, and very fast clear in jungle as well, very strong early game, very strong first Dreadnought fight. And yeah, Greninja is also super popular right now, he's almost in every single game picked, and yeah, this character is, that's the reason why. He is just absolutely insane. Lucario in theory can jungle. I'm just gonna put him in here because he can. I would not recommend going Lucario in jungle. It's just, you know, again, it's similar to like something like Absol, where you don't really have late game to make up for, you know, taking out the jungle experience. I think it could work, like if you take jungle until Dread spawns and afterwards your Venusaur or something takes jungle, I think it can be fine. But you kind of waste the entire laning potential that Lucario has by putting him into the jungle. Machamp, I think Machamp is also the same level as Lucario, where like he is a fine jungler, but just doesn't make sense. He has very strong laning, and also not really late game carry, right? Like the rest, these are like, you can see on the top right, you can see like a picture. Those are late game hyper carries. Those are characters that can carry late game team fights very, very hard. A lot of damage output, obviously very squishy, but you can see, you know, what's going on over there. And I don't think Machamp is, you know, he can be played in jungle as well, but I just don't think I think it's a wasted spot. I still think he can jungle, that's why I don't put him in here, because, you know, it's not that bad, but just nothing impressive. Mamoswine can't jungle, these don't jungle. There's people who like Sylveon a lot. Okay, now this is like kind of getting cut off, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Maybe I should just not have this category in. Let's just go over the next characters, and then we can maybe finish the noted jungler thing. Talonflame, also a top 5 jungler currently. Doesn't matter if you play Brave Bird or Aerial Ace or Fly or Flame Charge. Very, very strong character, very hard to deal with if the Talonflame knows what he's doing. Very, very strong at scoring as well, very strong at just killing, one-shotting characters with your team. Very strong at securing objectives, and that's all what makes a good jungler, right? And then we have Venusaur. I think Venusaur is also still a very strong jungler. I'm not sure where to put it. I think it's also still S tier. Like, you see how many good junglers there are, and you can see hyper carries. Like in jungle, Venusaur has an easy time getting to level 13. And if you have like a Blissey somewhere in the lane, I think there's a team in Japan who plays Venusaur jungle, Blissey bot lane. Very strong, very hard to deal with. I think the biggest problem of Venusaur jungle is that if you play against the Cinder Ace, you're kind of countered, and Cinder Ace is very popular. But if there's no Cinder Ace in the game, Venusaur jungle also works wonderfully and you should be scared of. I think Zeraora has dropped a lot. Gonna still put him in A tier, but I think Zeraora's biggest issue is not having Unite move on level 9, like every other character currently in the game has, at least. And he struggles a lot for that, to even like have a chance of moving up the tier list. He needs probably also the Unite move to be level 9, which, you know, would probably be reasonable buff to him and would probably be fair. But yeah, would not recommend. Actually, I can still put them up in here. You guys will see. Noted jungler. I guess, whatever. It doesn't really matter, does it? Doesn't really matter. Sylveon, theory. Sylveon is a jungler with Mystic Fire, but also, like, these are all things you should just, they can jungle, but it doesn't make sense. Mystic Fire, Sylveon, B tier jungler. Yeah. I mean, B is the lowest tier. I don't know if we have a C or D tier here. B just means it's the worst thing. You can still pick out all those characters in this lane, and there's so many meta choices, but it's still something you can do, in theory. Serena's the same. Actually, I think Serena is much better in jungle than in lane still. And I'd rather have a Serena jungle over these characters, I would say. Actually, no, I don't. Never mind. Serena feels... Nah, never mind. Let's put Serena also into the can jungle, but probably shouldn't be picked. Dragonite, I think Dragonite is a low S tier now, but still very strong. Hyper Beam still destroys objectives. The problem that he has, that all these things carry late game team fights, and he struggles in them, right? He doesn't have a chance against these characters in late game team fights, and that's his biggest issue. Besides that, still a very strong character in jungle, and can be played. Decidueye, I think Decidueye is A tier. Yeah, you might be like, wow, Decidueye really A tier? But I think in jungle he's not that bad. With Leaf Storm and Razor Leaf for sure works. I think I'd rather have Decidueye jungle than some of these characters. And yeah, if the Decidueye can play decently, it's really not that bad, but it's also nothing amazing. His biggest issue is that there's the 2 other auto-tech range characters, right, are just a billion times better than he is. Cinderace and Greninja just have much more mobility, have more damage, have better Unite moves than Decidueye, and that just, you know, puts him very far behind. Aegislash, it's also one of these categories, like, it can jungle, but why? But, you know, in theory, it's made for the jungle role as well. Like, it can jungle. Then we have Wigglytuff, we don't jungle with, Treven, we don't jungle, and Hoopa, we don't put into jungle. People have been telling me, Chris, try Hoopa jungle. Please don't play Hoopa in jungle. It doesn't make any sense, right? It just doesn't. So that's the end of the tier list for jungle. And yeah, I'm going to leave it up for a second again. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And again, please, I would appreciate, guys, if you like the video, if you subscribe to my channel, and if you have any questions about my tier list ranking, you can say us in the comments, and I might go into further explanations on why I put this character into the role. Alright guys, thanks for watching, see you in the next one, bye!